copy sheet? I'll watch.
What?
Oh, I want a graphic design that has a nice.
So that was
Or
interesting.
it's on 919.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
There's only 6 of us in here.
You know what? I'm just gonna sit right here. And I'm gonna probably eat my Tootsie Pop. I don't like this. This is freaking me out. Does anyone know how many minutes it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I don't really want to find out.
Alright.
Picture, use that for the true false. It's supposed to be good enough to go.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm about to have the best.
Anyway,
I'm about to have the best art class ever, I tell you. Okay, so we're doing a presentation, and let's just say my line sucks. Because I was drawing the ability of a 2-year-old, and I know a way to get an A at the end. Because, you know, we have a conclusion slide at the end. I put for the best teacher ever, Mr. Oberman. And that's how I'm going to get an A. Hopefully it works. Because or else I'm done for getting it. Not looking good. Here, I can even show you my presentation.
Sean, you get 25 points for sitting there and just looking at the board, and you get 25 points for sitting at a desk and just talking. So that's easy.
I know, but for my artwork, I should get it. Jason, come look at my presentation. I want to show you. Let's just say you're going to be disappointed. Reason. Ignore the first slide. I have to take a note to do it. Foundation, start by me. Line of society, blah, blah, blah. Look at it. I think that was an okay one. Look at that base. And this was the color group painters of the 1950s.
okay.
Oh, angry
So,
women.
Okay, we're going to do a couple
Yeah.
notes here.
Hold on.
So make sure you put everything down below you. We have a couple notes today. We did have homework today. That was page 71, 74. Make sure that you are actually taking a look and getting that done today. We have a new assignment today.
I will be there.
After lunch?
You're not waiting. You're in. I'm going to get 0 for it. I'm going to win the slide for it.
And I need to print out for you. What do you need? That worksheet 4746 worksheet?
I am so yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about what we're going into here before lunch. We're talking about how to add and subtract, or I should say, how to add mixed numbers or improper. That's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so the section we're on 310. We're going to go 311 as well today. We're going to mix a couple sections together. So we are adding fractions. It's kind of our goal. All right, so basic operation. But now our new goal today, other than just doing simple fractions like we did yesterday, is we'll start with a simple fraction. Our goal today is to look at mixed numbers and improper. So that's going to be our new goal today. Mixed numbers. And improper fractions. Okay, so everyone understand what we're going to be doing here today. Now there's a couple different strategies, especially when we get to mixed numbers and proper. I'll just kind of show you the way that I look at it, and maybe it'll make it easier for you. All right, so we'll start with the simple fraction. Okay, so the simple fraction will be like 3 over 8, and we're going to add this to, let's go 9 over 10. These are simple fractions, right? Not mixed numbers, not improper, just can we add these together? Now remember, when you add fractions, it's not like multiplying, okay? We want to make sure that you have a common denominator. So, trying to get up here and do things. All right. So, can I add these right now as they sit? No, I can't, definitely can't. Don't tell me that it's 12 over 18. That's not how you do this. Okay, we have to get common denominators. So, what is the common number between 8 and 10? 80, that's 1. You could choose 80, which I'll go with that. Or 40. They would have both went into 40. Because you look at like multiples of 8, 16, 24. Eventually you get 40, and we know 10 goes into 40. Let's go with 80. Let's say you're the first person to say, oh, it goes into 80. Because I told you, the trick is, just multiply the bottoms together. You're totally fine. You can do that. So we're going to change the bottoms to be the same. Okay, what did I multiply in this 8 to make 80? 10. So I multiply the top by 10, and I get 30. Okay, that's the trick. Okay, I always want to multiply the bottoms. Now over here, what did I multiply by? 8. So I have to take the top times 8. So 9 times 8, 72. So that's the first check. That's what we have to do. We have to make sure the denominators are the same. Now I can add. So now when I add these straight across, I get 102 on the top, because that's 30 plus 72, and 80 stays on the bottom. Because what you're doing here is what you're thinking about is I have the pan of brownies that can hold 80 brownies, but I'm adding 30 from one pan, 72 from another. So now I have 102 brownies in my pan. That's way too many, if you think about it. I've overloaded the pan. The pan can only hold 80, but I have 102 of them sitting in there right now. So how many full pans of brownies do I have? So if 80 goes to 102, at least one. You have one full pan with a couple left over. If the pan normally holds 80, you put 102 of them in there, you have 22 extras. That's what just happened. You had up to 80, but there's 22 extras sitting in that pan. Now, if you don't know how I did that, this is basically what I'm doing. I'm taking 102, putting it in the house, 80 on the outside. 80 goes into 100 once, and if you actually subtract, that's a 2, that's a 9, or that's I should say 2, and if you just take 10 minus 8, which is 2. So that's the trick. If you want to make that a 0 and 10, it's the same thing. So that's 22, and that's your remainder. So that's why it's 1 and 22 eighths. Okay? All right, now, the 22 and the 80 can actually simplify. Today, I'm not going to worry about if you choose to simplify. I want to see what you get. Does that make sense? You don't need to simplify your answers today. If you can add your fractions, that's all I care about. We'll look at simplifying it later. That's when we get done with subtraction. We'll come back to it. Okay, questions with how to add. Okay, notice they have to be the same denominator. That is different than multiplying and dividing. Multiplying and dividing, you flipped straight across. Right? Or you flipped and went straight across. Adding is different. Now let's talk about mixed numbers here. There's a shortcut for doing mixed numbers, and I want to show you that because I don't know if you've ever been taught this. So first time doing this. So 3.5 plus, let's go 7 and let's go a 4. So we're going to add we're going to add mixed numbers. All right, here's the way that you can do this. It's just like this little shortcut you can do. You don't need to change these to improper, which is weird. A lot of times people tell you, oh, change to improper, and then you can do everything. You don't need to. You can actually just group. If you're adding or subtracting, you're allowed to group the big numbers together. So 3 plus the 3 plus the 7. And then you're going to add the fractions out back. You're allowed to do that. Make sense? The fractions group the big numbers. That's how you can add. Question? Okay, you already figured it out. All right, let's get it. All right, now, we'll keep going, so hopefully it gets to your right answer. What's your common denominator here? 4. That's probably what I would change it to. If you want to change it to 8, that's fine. I'll go 4. 4 is easy. So this one didn't change. I mean, I left the 4 on the bottom, so it stays the 1. This one I had to multiply by 2. So I take the top times 2. 2 over 4. So now they have the same denominator. I can actually add those fractions, which is 3/4. So I can actually add the top numbers, 3, and the bottom number will change. The big numbers, just add those together. That's how you do it. That's your final answer. 10 full pans plus a little bit extra. You almost had another full pan, so we're almost at 11. You had an extra little pan. All right, questions on this problem right now? Like how I did it? Like this is like a shortcut. A lot of people don't realize you can do that if you like group. This works really well on any type of mixed number. I do want to do a more challenging question for you. Something that might turn out to be a little bit goofy. All right, so let's do another one here. Same style. Same style. So 5. Let's go 5 and 5/7 plus. Let's go 2 and let's go 3/4. Now it gets a little goofy. Now I'm going to try to explain what I mean by this. So same exact structure. We can group things together, we can move things around. All right, so what am I allowed to group together?
5 and 2.
5 and 2. We're going to add those together because that's adding, right? What about the fractions? Right now we can't, right? So that's the correct, right? We can't add them right now. They have different denominators. So now we got to change the denominator. What's the common number that they both go into? Bottom number.
28.
28. So yeah, we'll have to change these to be 28s on the bottom, just because I need to make sure that I can add them. So I'm going to multiply a 4 on the first fraction, so it turns it out to be 20 over 28. On the second one, I have to multiply by 7, so I get 7 on the top, so I get 21. And now this is where it gets really goofy. I said the answer was going to be kind of weird. This turned out to be a 7 out front. That was your big 7. But back here, the fraction actually made 41 over 28. What's wrong with that situation?
It's improper.
It's improper. Now, normally, we'd be done there, right? Just like that last one. Oh, we were done. 10 and whatever the fraction was. But we're not. We have to actually change this fraction to make sure that we can get this to be a mixed number again. So that's what we're going to do. So we're gonna do like, we'll just do it kind of old school way. So I'm going to put the 41 in the house, the 28 on the outside. How many times can 28 go into 41? Once, right? Without going over. So 28 times 1 is 28. So I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to make this a 3. That's an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. That's my remainder. So what's the fraction that goes to this?
1 over
1. And
13 over 20.
good. Yeah, the remainder over what I divided by. So now why this is unique is now you have to combine this 1 over here. So the final answer is combining that 1 with the 7, which is
8, 13, 28.
yeah. So 8 and 13, 28. That's your final number. That was just, this to me is super goofy. be that you have to do that, just because it looks like the last part. You know, your big numbers with the fractions, but the fractions are going to be improper. So when we change it, we have to combine the big numbers. So that was the idea. So it actually made 8 full pans. Yeah, that should be it. All right. Any questions with the mixed number idea? Okay, we'll come back to it. I do want to do maybe an example before lunch and stuff. But let's go to mixed number, or improper. Let's go to improper. All right. Okay, so improper fractions. Let's go like 15 over 4 plus, let's go with 9 over 2. You can add improper fractions. It's totally fine. But the problem is, it's got to be the same rules we talked about before. They have to have the same denominator. So you can't just say, oh, that's going to be 24 over 6. Not how that works. You have to actually get common denominators here. So what's the denominator that they both go into? 4. Or 8, whatever you want to change it into. So I'm going to change these both to be 4s. This first fraction I didn't really change it, it stays that. But in this one, what I multiply it? You get a 4. 2, so I take the top times 2. So 9 times 2 is 18. Now you can add these. Now 15 plus 18, that's what? 33. You actually add 15 and 18 together. And now I can change this back to an improper, or to a mixed number, I should say. Yeah. You could have done that over there as well. It works out the same way. It's just more steps. You have the numbers will be bigger. You'll have to change them back. If you do the mixed numbers like I'm doing, you have the potential where you want it to go further. You just have big numbers add the fractions, and the numbers stay small. It's that rare case, like I showed you over there with that stupid 41 over 28. That's that rare case you have to get rid of. All right, but this, the 4 and the 33 goes in the house, the 4 goes on the outside. How many times can 4 go into 33? 8 times? No. Because 4 times 8 is 32. If I subtract, I get 1. 33 minus 32 is 1. And so my final fraction, is 8 and 1 4. So the big 8, the remainder over what I divided by. I'm going to rule that how we did that. Now, it doesn't matter if you choose to go like improper, or if you choose to do this little quirky rule that I showed you with the mixed numbers, you will get the same answer every time. It does not matter. As long as you're finding common denominators, you're adding correctly. That's just something to realize. Okay, any questions with any of the stuff we've been talking about recently? This idea. Okay. Now, I do want to explain like the concept of adding versus multiplying. I think I tried to explain it the other day. I don't know if it kind of came through. When you multiply something, like 3 times 4, right? When you're multiplying, you're taking whatever this number is, this first number 3 here. So there's 3 objects, and you're multiplying it 4 times. So you're basically just adding this, pan of brownies 4 times. So you're making 4 times as many. Okay. So there's, when I take 3 times 4, there's 3 pans. So now there's a total of 12 because I have 4 of those. So whatever your recipe calls for, you're making 4 times as many. So 12 pans total. When you add, this is the amount of pans you have, and you're adding to the other pans. So you have a total of 7 pans total. And that's what's happening here. Like over here, why this turned out to be really goofy is because this was nearly 6 full pans of brownies. That was nearly 8 or nearly 3 full pans. So when you added 6 and 3, it nearly made 9 full pans. Right? 6 and 3 make 9. So that's why I can kind of like guesstimate the answer is going to be in like the 8s area. It was almost 9. Because this is almost 6, that's almost 3, so 6 plus 3 is almost 9. So that's the idea. That's why I knew that this answer 7 something wasn't going to be right. It was going to move on. So that's a way of like kind kind of like justifying your work before you start. This number is close to 3, this number is close to 7, so when I add it makes almost 10. And it was just a little bit extra because I kind of underestimated. So that's the idea. It was just one of those things like I can kind of guesstimate before I start these problems. That's what I want to make sure of. All right, I'm going to give you your homework right now because we only got a couple minutes here before lunch. Because I don't like that, the only good stuff. All right, so here's your homework that's going to be due on Tuesday next week. If you have not finished page 71, 74, make sure that gets turned in. That's due today. So really, your first goal today should be trying to finish that multiplying and dividing. You should be doing that one. Get that wrapped up. That is due today. Okay, but if you are done and you're kind of looking for something, here's your assignment. This will be due on Tuesday next week. Page 76, numbers 1 through 9, and we're doing exercise B. Make sure you're doing the B exercises on those. And then page 78, 7 through 12, and these are exercise B as well. So be careful what exercises you're doing. I've had a lot of people make mistakes when they're doing the wrong section. So there you go. So it's on adding, so hopefully you kind of know what to do there. It's going to be just normal numbers, and there's going to be mixed numbers in there. So there you go. Yes, I already have it. Yep. That's why I knew I had to owe you a worksheet. They can build it. So. No, not today. On the subtracting, you won't have to simplify. On the multiplying, yeah. This one, we're going to look at simplifying later. Grabbing and subtracting. Go to lunch. Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about.
How many legs it takes to get to a cookie? I will stop the mystery.
You didn't have that much patience?
Yeah, I hope so.
That would be impressive if you do.
I always like that first.
Yes.
One, they do. The world may never know.
Okay, let's do a quick review of kind of what you're doing here in the homework. Now, if you're working on the old homework, that's fine. That's multiplication, division. Remember, multiplying, you just go straight across. Division, you flip it, and then you go straight across. You can simplify those. When you get to the adding problems, no matter what type of problem you have, all you have to do is get common denominators, and then you can add across. And whatever your answer is, make sure it's in like a mixed number or a simple fraction. You don't need to simplify it further. Is there a problem we simplified over there? No, we haven't really had one where you have to do some actual simplifying where there's numbers top and bottom. So whatever answer you get, just leave it. I'm fine with that for adding, because I don't want you to know how to do that, but you got to get common numbers when you add. That's a big deal. Okay?
you want to find common denominators, you can use